What's up, guys? It's David back here with another video. We're going to be doing the brakes on my wife's 2005 Acura RSX base model, and we're going to be doing the front and the rear. We're going to be doing calipers, brake pads, and that should be it. The first thing that you're going to want to do is go ahead and take off the wheels. All right, now with the wheel removed, you can get to the caliper. So on RSX, you're gonna wanna grab your 12 millimeter and possibly a 17 millimeter wrench. So go ahead, crack those loose.
Okay.
Now with those two 12 millimeters off, you can slide your caliper off. Be careful if you just drove the car, this will be hot. So go ahead and slide caliper off, set it down. All right, you're gonna want to slide your brake pads, your old brake pads out. Slide them out or pull them out. Come on, give me my pry bar. There we go. All right, now with the brake pads out, you can slide your old retaining clips off, bend them off, whatever you do. New brake pads will come with new ones. All right. All right, so you're gonna take off your two 17 millimeter caliper bolts on the back. I already loosened them. Like I said, they're on the back of the caliper. These two little bolts like this. And your caliper bracket will come off. If you have OEM suspension, you can hang your caliper up on the strut. And now let's grab a Phillips head screwdriver to get this off. Once you got those two Phillips out, your rotor should be free to come off. Like I said, be careful if you just drove the car. These are very warm, which these are very warm right now, so I'm gonna be quick. All right, now go ahead and put your new rotor on. Be mindful if you're gonna be using these screw holes, which are optional, but I'm gonna be using them because they're there. Line it up with those screw holes. Let's see. All right, that's lined up good. Let's go ahead and grab those two screws. Put them back in. They do not have to be stupid tight. Just snug them up, they'll be good to go. All right, we got our new rotor on. Let's go ahead and put our caliper bracket back on. Caliper bracket goes on facing this way with these little slide pins facing out. So go ahead and slide it on. Can you see the bolt I'm tightening? And do the bottom one. Always hand start your threads. Use an impact if you want. Just making things simple, we're gonna use wrenches. Ratchets and wrenches. grab all brake pads. Yeah. All right, so I like to grease the back of my pads. I got some grease in this packet right here that came with it. So let's see if I can get this thing open.
Okay.
All right, so it's preference to put this grease that they provide on the back of the pads. I like to do it, just grab you a little bit, put it on your glove or your finger, and just put just very, very, very thin layer on the metal part of the pad. Like I said, and this is optional. Mechanics will tell you that you don't need to do it. It's just all preference. So, like I said, just get a little bit, put it on the back of the pad, and smear it across. Just a thin layer. And this little, you'll see this little thing right here on an RSX. It goes on the back of the brake. So we'll put that one on next. So let's go ahead and put our new retaining clips that we took out earlier. Put our new ones in. They just pop right in. Come on, baby. There we go. So those ones are in. And all right, so retaining clips are in. All right, so like I said, remember that whenever you're doing your rear pad that you want this metal plate or metal bracket sticking down. So make sure that you grab the one that's going to be on the back side and make it stick down. All right, so we got our brake pads in. We are gonna have to retract the caliper more than likely. So yeah, we're gonna have to retract the piston, on the caliper. So let's grab something to do that. My way that I like to retract the piston is I like to put a brake pad on top. You'll notice that these brake pads are pretty new, but they were squeaking due to a slot in the rotor. So, all right, before we put our new, or put the caliper back on, you always want to take your slide pins out. They were right here. You have one there and there. And just go ahead and just throw a little layer of grease over it. And throw it back in. And then put your little boot cover over it, and then got it to move. Might have to take a 19mm and just loosen it up some. Get it to move. Get the boot off of it. If I can get under there. See if I can get this. There we go. Once that you get the little dust boot off of it, grab it. Grab your grease. Throw a little bit of grease on the slide pin. And throw your slide pin back in there. And it'll just pop right back in like that. Now, we're good to go to put our brake caliper back on. So grab it off of the strut. Push your slide pins in on top and bottom. And push it over. Grab your two 12mm. Get your thread started. top and bottom. Grab your wrench and tighten them up. All right, so that was the passenger front. Let's go ahead and do the driver's side front off camera, and then I'll show y'all how to do the rears. All right, now we're gonna repeat the same process, just now in the rear. So first thing that I'm gonna do is go ahead and take off.
Go.
Tools come in nice and handy whenever you have them, the right tool for the job. Got that popped loose. Got this bolt off. All right, now let's go ahead and undo our caliper bracket. All right, so this is your e-brake. Make sure that it's disengaged while you're doing the rears. Go ahead and you can just kind of pull on it and get it to pop out. Like that. Now with that off, like I said, we can go ahead and undo our caliper bolts. So,
Okay.
all right, I got the top bolt out. Like I said, these are 12 millimeters, same as the front.
Go.
All right, so in order to get your caliper off, you're gonna have to remove this 12 millimeter. This 12 millimeter right here. So grab you a ratchet, socket, and extension, and pop this loose. All right, don't lose that bolt. Now we should be able to pop our caliper off. Little baby brake pads. Take our retaining clips out. Take the retaining clips out. Set our caliper to the side. Grab you a 14 millimeter wrench or whatever you're going to use to break these loose. Let me grab a socket. Dang, them things were tight. Yeah. I've never done the rear brakes on this vehicle, so figures. These are probably the original back brakes. Thing's only got 100,000 miles on it. Alright, take your caliper bracket off. Set it to the side. Pull your rotor off. Go ahead and grab your new rotor. Throw it on. Grab your little bolt for the rotor. Phillips head bolt. Snug it up nice and good. Throw our caliper bracket back on. Or before we do that, I'm going to take slide pins and we're going to grease them. Pull your boot down, twist your slide pin, pull it out. Do the same for the other. All right. Our new brake pads came with grease. So open that up. There's some grease out. Throw grease on the slide pin just like the front. Just got it all around. Just push it back into the caliper bracket. Pull your other one out. Do the same thing. Let's get a little bit more than that. Grease up your slide pin. And let's throw it back in there. Make sure the boot goes on. Now we can put our caliper bracket back on. Alright, that one's tight. Let's do the bottom. Alright, it's tight. Let's get our new brake pads. Grab the clips for the brake pads. See it a little snapped in.
Okay.
Alright, same thing as the front. A little bit of grease on the metal part of the pad on the back. And make sure that this little metal bracket is pointed down and it's on the back side of the brake. Same as the front. Let's throw this back one on first. These don't clip in like the front do. You can just slide them in from the back and then push them into place. At least for the brakes that I got, the brake pads that I got.
Go.
Alright, I am going to keep this metal bracket on the caliper the same. So let's go ahead and push in our piston. The rears of a RSX are twist in. So just grab you something flat or like some pliers. Go ahead, twist it in as far as you can get it. Oh, let's try it on the pads. Alright, we should be able to get it on. Just move the slide pin. There we go. Grab your two 12mm bolts from earlier for the slide pins for your caliper. Before we forget about it, let's go ahead and tighten up this 12mm for the brake line. Alright, so you're gonna need a 17 millimeter to hold your slide pin from turning, and the 12 millimeter for your bolt. Now with those tight, go ahead and throw on your wheels. Excuse me. You need to go ahead and put on your e-brake cable. Just push it back on like that so it snaps into place. Double check that everything's tight. And let's go ahead and throw the wheels back on. And tighten up the wheels. Alright guys, I hope that you enjoyed this quick little maintenance that I had to do and this quick little brake job. So make sure that you, once you get your wheels on, that you go back, once you set the car on the ground, whether you're using jack stands or a lift, go ahead and tighten up your lug nuts and torque them to spec. Torque for lug nut on an RSX is 90 foot-pounds. So go ahead and do that. I hope you guys enjoy. Peace.